Good day, students. Welcome to part 2 of the CAHSEE number sense release questions test review. I'm going to be going over questions 11 to 20. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 11. All right, so some students attend school 180 of 365 days in a year. About what part of the year do they attend school? So this is a percentage problem. So what we're going to do is basically let's write down what the percentage formula is. So percentage is basically going to be part divided by whole. This will give you a decimal, we multiply or a fraction, and then we multiply by 100. That converts it into percentage. All right. So this is the formula we're going to be using. So the part is basically 180 over the whole, which is 365. So you notice 180 doesn't go into 365 evenly, so they said about what? So we're going to be making an approximation here. What is a good approximation here? What comes around with each of these numbers too? So you notice that if you double 180, what is 180 times 2? 180 times 2 is 360, which is really close to 365. So this is a good estimate. 360 is a good estimate for 365. So this is basically approximately 180 divided by 360. So this is the part, and that's the whole school year, times 100. Okay? So we can do this by, we can divide by 0. So how do we divide by 10? Sorry, so to divide by 10, we can go 10 goes here. If I divide by 10, it just takes out a 0, and it takes out a 0 right there. And then 36, 18 goes into 36 twice, because 18 times 2 is 36. So 18 goes into itself once, and 18 goes into 36 twice. Right? Now 2 goes into 100 how many times? 2 goes into 150 times. So 2 goes into itself once, and then it goes into 150 times. So your final answer when you multiply across is basically going to be 50%. Remember, you multiplied by 100. That's why it's a percentage. All right. So your answer for number 11 is B. All right. Let's take a look at number 12. So one number equals 3 over 8. So basically, this is a problem where we're converting from fraction to decimal. Okay. So to do this, all we just do is we just make our division bar. The denominator goes on the outside, and then the numerator goes on the inside. How many times is 8 going to 3? 8 is bigger than 3, so it doesn't go anytime. So put a 0, put a decimal point there. So putting that decimal point gives us the ability to put a 0 here. So 8 goes into 30 how many times? 8 times 3 is 27. 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 4 is 32. So we can use 3 here. 3 times 8 is 24. And we'll subtract. So it's basic long division. We have 6. And then put another 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. Because 7 times 8 is 56. When we subtract, we have 4. Put another 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8, 40. We divide, we end up with a 0. So we're done. So our answer is 0.375. So to convert from the, fraction to decimal, all you just need to do is long division. The denominator goes outside and the numerator goes inside. All right, so there you have it. I'm moving on to the next one. Number 13. We have, it says last year 7/16 of all students, or 7/16 of all students at school participated in the science fair. About what percentage of the students participated? So in this case, we're going to be going from fraction to decimal to percent. Okay, so to convert this into percentage, all we just simply do is we're going to do 7/16 multiplied by 100. If you want to convert any number to percent, you just multiply by 100 over 1. All right. So let's see. Can we? Let's see if we can reduce here. So 4 goes into 16 4 times. and 4 goes into 125 times. What is 7 times 25? You can do the multiplication. It's 35 plus 140, which is 175. So if I go 25 times 7, I have 5 carry 3. 7 times 3, 14 plus 3, 175. So this is basically going to become 175 over 4. Alright, if I divide this fraction out, it should give me the percentage that I'm looking for. Alright, so we're going to have the numerator goes into the division bars like that, and then the 4 goes outside. Alright, now let's divide. 4 goes into 17 4 times. 4 times 4, 16. We subtract, we have 1, 5. 4 goes into 4 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. We subtract that, we have 3. And then since 4 doesn't go into 3, we can put a 0 there and a decimal point. Alright? 4 goes into 30. 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. We're going to stop right here and look at which of these options is approximately, if I round this up, which one will I get? I'll obviously get 44%, alright? Because it's going to be 43.7 something, 75 for example. But when I round it up to the ones place, it's going to be 44%. I don't need to finish this problem up to see that my answer is option C. Okay? Alright, moving along to question 14. It says the cost of afternoon movie ticket last year was $4. This year an afternoon movie ticket cost $5. What is the percent increase of the ticket from last year to this year? So the percent increase formula, it could be increase or decrease, alright? But percent increase is basically the change divided by the original price, and then multiply the quotient by 100, okay? So what is our change here? Well, the change was from 4 to 5, so we're going to subtract 5 from 4. 5 minus 4, which is basically 1. $1 is the change, because if we go from 4 to 5, so the percent increase is going to be using the formula, the change, which is 1, divided by the original, which is 4, because that was the original price, times 100. Alright, we multiply across, we can put this 100 over 1. We have 100 divided by 4. And when the 4 goes into 125 times, so the answer is 25%. Alright, so the answer to number 14 is C. Alright, let's move on to question 15. It says weekly sale of a magazine increased from 500,000 to 600,000. By what percentage did the magazine sales increase? So we're going to use the same formula. Percent increase is basically the change divided by the original multiplied by 100. Okay? So let's do the change first, because we know everything else. The change is basically 600,000 minus 500,000, which is basically 100,000. Alright, and we know the original price was, the original is 500,000 magazines. Alright, so these are the two numbers we're going to be using for a formula. Okay, so the percentage increase is going to be the change, which is 100,000 divided by the original, which is 500,000 times 100. Okay, now 100,000 divided by 500,000, we can just divide both of them by 100,000. So just cancel out a 0, cancel out 1 0 there, 1 0, cancel, 1 0 from top, 1 0 from bottom, 1 0 there, 1 0 there, 1 0 there, 1 0 there. Alright, so what we just did is we divided by 100,000. So that basically gives us 1/5 over 1. If we multiply across, we'll have 100 as a consequence of multiplying 1 times 100 divided by 5. When you divide 100 by 5, you have 20. Alright, because 5 goes into 120 times, so this would be 20%. So the answer to number 15 is B. Alright, let's take a look at another percentage problem, number 16. It says, traditional clothing store is having a sale. Shirts that were regularly priced at $20 are on sale for $17. What is the percentage of decrease in the price of the shirts? So same formula, but this time we're going to look at percentage decrease. In this case, it is also the change, the decrement, amount of decrement over the original multiplied by 100, okay? So what is the change here? The change is, it went from 20 to 17, so we're going to go 20 minus 17. It's $3 change, okay? The original was what it was originally, which was $20, all right? So the percentage decrease, we're going to apply this formula that we have over here, which is change 3 over 20. This is the fraction representing the change. So making it a percentage, we multiply by 100. Okay, 100 over 1. We can cross reduce. 20 goes into 100 5 times. So 20 goes into itself once, and 20 goes into 100 5 times. And then when we do multiply across, 3 times 5 is 15. Number 16 is 15%. Answer to number 16 is B. Alright, let's move on to 17. It says, on Monday, Lisa's fishbowl contained 1 gallon of water. On Friday, the fishbowl contained 0.75 gallons of water. By what percentage did the amount of water in Lisa's fishbowl decrease? So we're going to use the percentage decrease formula here. Similar to the previous one, percentage decrease is basically the change, amount of decrement divided by the original amount. And then to make it into percentage, you multiply by 100. Okay? So what is the change? The change here is basically going to be 1 minus 0.75. Okay, when you do 1 minus 0.75, you're going to have 0.25. Okay? If that's confusing, what I did is 1.00, and then you subtract 0.75. And then when you borrow 1, you borrow 1 here, you get 10, and then you have a 9, and then take another 10 here. You just do the subtraction, you have 5, and then 2, so 0.25. Alright? Alright, so 0.25 is our change. What was the original amount? Originally, it was 1 gallon. It contained 1 gallon. So our percentage decrease is going to be the change, 0.25, divided by the original, which is 1, multiplied by 100. Okay, so let's see. If I multiply 0.2, I can put this over 1. If I multiply 0.25 by 100, all that does is it moves the decimal point forward backwards 2 times. Okay, so there's a 0.25 times 100. So 0.25 multiplied by 100, right? This is simply going to be 2500. But since we have 2 decimal places, we just let me do this properly so you don't get confused. Okay, so when I'm doing this multiplication right here, when I do the 5, I have 0, 0, 5, and then when I do the 2, I have 0, 0, 2, and then when I add downwards, I have 2, 5, 2500. But since you have 2 decimal places here, you have to put the 2 decimal places here. So you have 1, 2, and the answer is basically 25%. Okay, so remember, whenever you're multiplying by 100, the decimal point moves back 2 places. It was 1,000, 3 places, on and on like that. So the answer to question 17 is basically C, 25%. Alright, let's move on to question 18. It says, Sally puts $200 in the bank account. Each year, the account earns 8% simple interest. How much will be earned in 3 years? So simple interest, the formula for simple interest is as follows. So simple interest is basically principal, the original amount, times rate, the percentage in decimal form times time, the amount of time that you invested the money, okay? So P is principal, which is P in this problem is what you started with, which is $200. The rate is the percentage in decimal form, which is R. In this case, is 8%. 8% is basically 8 over 100. 8 over 100 is the same thing as 0.08. Okay, how did I get 0.08? Well, I have a decimal point behind 8 and a decimal point behind 100. If I want to clear out these two zeros, I move my decimal point forward 2 places, 1, 2. And as a consequence of that, I have to do the same thing on the top, move the decimal point forward 2 places, 1, 2. So it's going to become 0.08 because I have to insert a 0 here, okay? So if you make any number percent, you have to move the decimal point forward twice, okay? So 0.08 or 8 over 100 doesn't make any difference. All right, time is how long Sally invested the money, and in this problem is 3 years, all right? So the simple interest, SI, is simply going to be 200 times the rate, which is 0.08, times the time, which is 3. Okay? So let's do it 2 at a time. I'm going to do the principal times the rate, 200 multiplied by 0.08. I'll just multiply and then apply the decimal. 8 times 0, 0, 8 times 0, 0, 8 times 2, 16. Since we have 2 decimal places here, I have to apply that to my result. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So that's going to be 16. All right? So the product of these two, the first two products is going to be 16, and then we'll just multiply that by 3. 3 times 16 is 30 plus 18, which is 48. So your simple interest is basically $48. Okay? All right, let's move along to question 19. It says a pair of jeans regularly sells for $24. They are on sale for 25% off. What is the sale price of the jeans? So basically, the sale price, the formula for sale price is basically the percent left after you take the percentage off, the percent left multiplied by the original amount. Okay, percentage left multiplied by the original. In this case, we have 25% off. So if you take 25% out of 100, what do you have left? So percentage left is basically full percentage is 100%, that's full price. If I take off 25, I'll subtract 25. Percentage left is basically 75%, okay? And in this problem, the original price, what did you start with? The original price is $24, okay? So the sale price is 75% of 24. Okay, this is in word form. How do we write this in symbolic form, in mathematical form? 75% is basically 75 divided by 100, and then we're going to multiply that by 24. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can reduce this. So let's see. This is 100. I know that 25 goes into 100. And also 75. 25 goes into 100 4 times, and then 25 goes into 75 3 times. 4 also goes into 64, right? So 4 goes into itself once, and 4 goes into 24 6 times. So multiply 3 times 6, we get 18. So $18 is the price after you have a 25% discount. So our answer to question 19 is B. Alright, let's take a look at another discount problem. A CD player, number 20, regularly sells for $80. It is on sale for 20% off. What is the sale price of the CD? So let's write out the formula again. The sale price, in this case we have a discount, is basically going to be the percent left after you take the discount off, multiplied by the original price. Okay. Alright, so what's the percentage left here in this problem? Percentage left. Let me write that again. Percentage left, we have 100%, which is a full percentage. The discount is 20, so 100 we take out 20. 100 minus 20 is 80%, so that's what's left. The original price before the discount is $80. Okay, so the sale price is going to be 80% of $80. Okay, so this is word form. So how do we write this in mathematical form? 80% is simply 80 divided by 100. So percent is like per 100. Okay, of is multiplied by 80 over 1. All right, so we can simplify these by crossing out zeros. So let's cross out some zeros here. So I can cross out, divide by 10 means you're crossing out zeros. So I can divide by 10. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 80 divided by 10 is 8. And then divide 10 by 10 is 1. And then divide this by 10 is 8. And then you multiply the top and the bottom across. And then you just have 64 over 1, which is just 64. So $64 is your sale price. So the answer to this is C. Alright. So thanks so much for watching this presentation. Please feel free to subscribe so you can get the next parts of this video series to get you ready for the CAHSEE. And also feel free to share this video with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Alright? More videos can be found on mygoodserve.com. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.